Allowing God to direct our will forces us, makes us to let go of the control that we have in our life. Okay? It forces us to sit down in a seat. This is so hard for me, guys. Like, I want to get up and I want to shout. But God said, sit down this morning. Let's just have a conversation. It's letting go of these things that we think will produce the good things in our life. Because if we separate ourselves from the branch, so to speak, and we try to live on our own, eventually we wither and die. So part of the control is abiding in him and attaching ourselves to him so that we do not wither and die. He said it like this. He said in John 15:4 in this conversation, he says, abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. This idea of producing fruit. This is Bible language. This is Christianese language, if you will. But it's something we're called to. Bearing fruit in the Christian life means that I am doing what this word says to do. It means that I'm living a life that is no longer the life I used to live. It's a different life that matches up to the life that God has called me in living as a Christian. And so if I used to produce anger, I now produce patience. That's fruit. If I used to produce anxiety, but now I produce faith, that's fruit. Apart from allowing God to come in and allowing us to direct his will in us, we can't do this on our own. We can't. So we've got to learn to give up what we want, what we think works, to abide in him, to allow him to transform our will. Psalm 37:23 and 24 says it like this. I love this. It says, the Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. The Lord makes firm the steps. It's not you. It's not me. It's the Lord. I said it this morning. I looked at Santi. I said it this morning in our volunteer huddle. I said, we make the plans, but it's the Lord who directs the steps. We want to go from A to B to C, but how we get there, that's up to God. And if we're going to grab onto the control and just get from A to B to C in our life, how much do we miss by allowing him to come in and abide in him and him to lead? And it says it very clearly. We may stumble. We may mess up. Listen, I'm not going to live a perfect life. You're not going to live a perfect Christian life. We're going to have those places where we're going to stumble, we're going to fall. But God upholds us in his, as long as we're abiding in him, as long as we're attached and we're not torn away from the vine, so to speak, he's going to hold us up. And all of our mistakes and all of the glory of the mess ups in our life, God will hold us up.